Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 6, Beyond the Wall. I'm your... No, don't you even get into that. Mr. Return the Slab over there. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is Cleo and John and Pat and Michelle.
Oh.
Hello. What up?
Return the Slab. I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
I'm sorry. I went down the whole of Game of Thrones memes, and it's a picture of Bran, and it's like on a newspaper. It says, "Local man ruins everything."
Oh,
Now, okay. How much you want to bet that Jon sails straight back down to Dragonstone and doesn't even stop home?
I know he's not stopping
Of course
home.
not.
They're sailing straight to King's Landing.
why would he? He wants he wants to get a little bit of Dany before he has to fight again.
No, he's a man on a mission.
They can do it on the boat. Like they gotta get to King's Landing.
Sounds like could take care
Are we
of.
starting with the end?
No. It
No.
was just a tidbit I thought of right now. Like, because you mentioned Bran, and I'm thinking, I thought Bran and Arya were dead. Screw going to see them. We're just going to do everything else.
Right. I thought
Well, it's also he's trying to keep them alive.
True.
There's no time to waste going home.
I mean, a raven to Jon, like, Jon, get the fuck back here. Really important. Need to tell you about something. Signed, Bran. It's like, you're the rightful king of the Seven Kingdoms. Have fun. That would get him back quick.
Just please.
Or he may just not want it.
Or he may just not want to
Also-
deal with it and be like, "Fuck it, I don't care."
I don't want it.
Just like, burn this.
I mean, Bran also doesn't care. He has no emotional stake in it.
But Sam, though, because he already kind of pulled in his little book about the divorce and
Yeah, but he has no idea that has anything to do with Jon.
True. Unless there's
It's
something...
only going to be when the three of them are in a room and Bran says it and Sam is like, wait, but Rhaegar had an annulment and married some rando chick. Let me get that book.
And then he'll pull the book out, and somewhere in there that Maester will have recorded, hey, she gave birth to a kid, too. And,
Yeah.
it's just in some... It's probably written down in some Maester's obscure ramblings, because, hey, the guy recorded everything. And nobody probably read it or gave a crap.
Yeah, of course nobody read that book.
He took-
Friggin' Gilly's the only one who read that book ever in the history of ever, because it's about how many steps are in a building and how many poops this one dude took. Like, that's a boring-ass book.
Nobody cares about how many shit bowel movements you do.
It's a ponderous read.
Apparently, he did enough to document it.
Yes.
Apparently his shits were interesting enough to talk about.
Anyway,
Count you want.
It's day 183.
we're going to start with everything that's not the Magnificent Seven leaving north of the Wall.
Yeah.
The little
The Magnificent Seven plus 5 red shirts.
Yes!
Yes.
Plus the 5 red shirts that we didn't see last episode.
Yeah, the landing party.
The away team.
The away team.
They hid those red shirts. Like, most of the time you didn't even know they were there until they died.
Yes, until, oh no, who the hell's dying? Wait, I don't recognize that person. That's because they're
Shit,
expendable.
is that Gary? No, that one's Gary. Which one's Gary?
They're all Gary?
Are they all Gary? Are
Gary's
you
been
alive
dead
still?
the whole time.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I didn't know they were guys. I just thought they were a dog sled team because all they were doing was pulling the cart.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I saw them do. Pull a cart, and one of them had a pike. That was about it.
Yeah? So, the fallout of Arya finding that little lovely message in Littlefinger's room. She confronts Sansa about it.
I
And-
was so hopeful that it wasn't gonna come out like this, but I should have known as soon as she judged Sansa for taking the room and said you always liked pretty things, that her judgments were gonna get in the way. Like her.
I have a theory on this.
Go for it.
I really think that she's just setting up Littlefinger.
I hope so.
I
She's
really
just three
hope so.
steps ahead.
It's possible.
And trying to act, because you know Littlefinger's peeping around every damn corner, probably looking at every one of their interactions.
Mhm.
She probably already knows and knows that she can't tell Sansa because Littlefinger's too close to Sansa right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
He is
first...
pretty much up her butt, and she's not a good, she's not a good person to keep any secrets.
No, and the first thing Sansa does is go to Littlefinger, like, where the hell did she find it? Like, where'd she get this? Like, all that. And he's being the sympathetic, the good ear, like, hey, I have no idea.
I don't
You should-
know.
I totally didn't set this whole
How
thing
about we
up.
kill your sister?
None of that. It's like, if, anything were to happen, Brienne was sworn to protect both of Catelyn Stark's daughters, so she would be forced to intercede on a fight, that you two were having. Like if Arya, for whatever reason, came after you with a dagger or something, But what is the next thing Sansa does?
Yep, we
We
Go
got-
away.
We got an invitation to King's Landing. I'm not going there while Cersei's still alive, so you're going as my representative, Brienne.
It's like, shouldn't you be getting there now? She's like, go away. I don't know.
Honestly, it's
Now,
it's a good idea
yes,
on one hand.
on one hand, it's a great idea because
Yeah.
Sansa does not want any part of going back there for multiple reasons.
Not even that. She can't. She's right. She can't leave the north.
That's the other thing. She can't leave the north because
John's
Bran-
already doing
John's
that.
already done that. Bran doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
no one to lead
All
if she
the
leaves.
all the Northern Lords would accept Bran because he is a male Stark. He is a Stark. Stark and Winterfell. All that bullshit. However,
He won't do it.
Bran has the current emotional range of a rock.
It doesn't help that he probably wouldn't do it.
No, that too.
Thoughts again. Do you think it was really Sansa that sent her away, or was it Arya acting as Sansa?
You can't. She can't do that.
She can't.
The face needs to be dead.
And she's already kind of semi-confirmed that this episode that she can take the face like after they're dead.
Well, that and they've been in the same room together, so.
There is that
Yeah.
too. But what
And
I
you know
think,
who hasn't been in the same room? Littlefinger and Arya.
He's been down the hallway peeping on her.
but the other
Does
thing,
that count?
like
Not this episode.
now, did he suggest this and Sansa just said, "Yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to take any of his suggestions because his suggestions have gotten me into some real shit before."
Probably.
Or did he know that and suggest it on purpose?
Know what?
Know that Sansa would do the exact opposite of what he recommended. And thus he recommended keep Brienne close, knowing that Sansa would get her the fuck away, thus opening the rift further for the possibility that Arya gets stabby happy.
Yeah, but what would Sansa's death do for him?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm
That's weird. That's where my mind keeps coming when I'm trying to figure out exactly what Littlefinger is doing. It comes back to, but that doesn't benefit him.
somebody's mind fucking somebody right now.
Well, all right. So I'm going to go with kind of what Pat said, that the girls are. This better be true. Let's put it that way, because if it's not, these writers are fucking terrible when they're on their own and they don't know what they're doing. Because if it's not the case that Sansa and Arya are leaving the door open when they have these big conversations and talking very loudly and reading this letter very loudly, so that Littlefinger's little birdies can hear. If that's not the case and they're not setting him up, then they are awful at writing this show without George R. R. Martin's guidance. And I'm not being funny, I'm being serious. This is terrible if it's true.
And
This is horrible writing.
I'm kind of with John on that one, and there's a lot of people out there who are unhappy with the way the last couple of episodes have been going. Like, the season's been alright. The season's actually been great. But, the last couple of episodes have been kind of, it's like, bad shit's happening, and then like a Deus Ex Machina comes in and saves the day. Like that was the
Right.
whole idea with like the end of this episode with Danny showing up with 3 dragons. It's like the heroes are saved even though they're being idiots. Like it's okay, but
But I think they said though that these last few like episodes of each of these seasons were going to be like, because they're so far ahead of the book now, that it was kind of like with George R. Martin's like okay, like giving his okay, but it's more like they're doing whatever they want kind of. I thought I read somewhere that they had free reign.
right.
But I think
This is what we know for sure, that he told them the ending. He told them a couple of major points between where he left off and the ending, and he gave them free reign of how to get there.
Oh, okay.
Now, I mean, the last couple of like they've been ahead of the books for a while now, couple seasons. It's possible that he let them read what he has finished of Winds of Winter, the next book so far, and that's why last season seemed like it was still his work and everything, because it was, and now they're truly on their own, or maybe they're setting something else up because I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe,
like I agree with John. This whole Arya Sansa thing, if it's not a giant power play or like some kind of mind fuck of them getting it over on Littlefinger, then this is going to be really fucking stupid.
I mean, yeah, you would think they would talk in more privacy.
I mean-
And then not even that. Like Arya's been through a lot of shit. It's like too much shit for me personally to think that she's just going to jump the gun like that.
Yeah.
Like
I think they both stupid pills.
it's like she's been taught, and she even says it to Sansa. Like when Sansa finds the faces in the bag. Like we used to play the game of faces. You tell a lie, and the whole story, whatever. Like Arya's a lot more thoughtful. Like I don't know the word to use for that, but she's not one who should be jumping to conclusions, which is kind of what she just did.
Uh-huh.
Like, she had to, Sansa even said, they made me write it. Like, yeah, I get that whole, I would have died before I betrayed my family, but
She was 12.
she was 12, she was captive, she was told, this is the only way we let your father live.
Right. And Arya was just a scared dingus back then, too. So I don't know what the hell she's being all uppity about. So that's why either this is a setup or it's terrible writing. I
And I'm hoping it's a setup. But
really hope it's a setup, because if they go through with this, I'm like, Arya kills Sansa, I may stop watching this show. Because that is going to be the stupidest shit they could ever do.
now, the
Yeah,
whole...
but
I'm more confused about the faces, I think, than I've ever been. So they just look like tiny latex faces in her bag. Like, is that a
Shitty
setup too? Is
parts
that not
exist.
real? Because we've talked about this. Is that how that works? She makes them?
No, the faces... Like, they've always looked like weird latex knockoffs, There's only so much, I guess, they can do to make it look like a real face that's sitting in a bag.
yeah, because it wouldn't have to
Yeah, but I thought it was like
50K.
a magical thing. Like because we've never actually seen one like that, unless it was on the wall.
Yeah. I don't know. They're being really not clear about that.
Yeah, that's what threw me the most about
But-
any of the Arya Sansa stuff was that why is it just a latex face?
Like, I don't know. The whole argument, as far as, what Arya said, oh, and what you're going to tell that, like, that's how you're going to defend yourself to little Lyanna Mormont, who is younger now than you were then?
Yeah.
Now, that's another issue. You can't use that argument. Lyanna Mormont is from Bear Island. She was 8 years old when she came out of her mother. Like, automatically. Bear Island is a really shitty place to live. They mature quickly there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or they don't survive. That's
I
why
thought you meant
Lyanna...
physically she was an 8-year-old. I'm like, what?
It's like, and that's why, that's why Lyanna is such a badass. Now, we gotta, chat's pitching in here. Marco Minko in chat says Sansa and Arya are playing Littlefinger right now.
I
which is
fucking
what
hope so.
we're all hoping for.
Honestly, my opinion, I think Arya's playing Littlefinger because Sansa seems really scared. Like, she could also just be playing. We know she's good at
She
that.
kind of
Well,
like
I'm
ghosted
going-
him like an advisor.
I'm going off the sheer thing that Arya is playing the game, and she can't let Sansa know because Sansa's just gonna blurt shit out. Sansa is just horrible at doing anything backhanded.
Yeah, so basically,
We've seen that before.
I don't think that's true anymore.
no, yeah, because a couple of seasons ago, when Sansa first started donning black and everything like that, you know, she's getting more crafty. Maybe not
Still
crafty
not
enough.
all there,
I don't think she's
though.
crafty
She's still
enough
got-
though against Littlefinger.
She's too gentle. I think she's still.
And Arya
No, I don't believe that.
Sansa enough on that.
Right. No, I mean, we got a lot more to talk about other than this, but there's basically, we're down to 3 options here. Option A is Arya and Sansa are doing this, like, sister bro fist moment, and they are just completely playing Littlefinger. Option 2 is Arya is playing Littlefinger, and Sansa is just an unwitting, actually scared for her life, you know, thing here. Or option 3, it's face value, and that's gonna suck. It's like, you know, what we've seen is what's actually happened.
Guess it could be whatever.
Another
Yeah,
good
I
one
hope-
in chat from Marco. Arya and Sansa had to talk to Bran off screen.
Shitty.
So, like, that's how they're communicating if they're playing him together?
I mean, again, that requires
playing
Bran
Littlefinger?
to care.
No, but I feel like if they asked him for help specifically, because so far no one's asked him
Yeah, that's
really for help.
exactly. Yeah, you know,
He's just given, like, tiny weird nuggets of creepiness.
he's given enough weird nuggets to Arya for Arya to piece it together in her head. Like, holy shit, he actually can see things.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, yeah, Littlefinger too. Sansa too, actually.
yeah, he's dropped enough hints to all of them. Like, especially Littlefinger, that chaos is a ladder. That's something he said in private years ago.
Years ago. I remember when that whole speech was, like, the trailer for the season before that season even came out.
Uh huh.
God, that
Yep,
was such
I
a great,
remember
like,
that.
marketing thing.
Now-
No.
And I agree with Marco here. When Littlefinger mentioned about Brienne and Sansa did, you know, the complete opposite, sent them away. Like, that also lends a little bit to that he's being played.
Mm.
And that's like the saving thread right here for me.
I forgot that one moment. Thank you.
Like, that's the saving thread that this is, you know, a real subtle plot, and that next episode something awesome's gonna happen.
Well, honestly, that's also a good way to lure Littlefinger into a false sense of security.
Mm.
Because he thinks that's, like, Sansa's only defense. Like, he thinks Brienne's Sansa's only defense against that sort of stuff. But
True.
But also at the same point might be the one that cockblocks an actual murder.
Now here's the
Because Ian would not want them actually getting into a big combat.
right. Now the other question is, does Littlefinger realize that Arya is a faceless man? Because
no, he realizes she's skilled.
like
But
you know, she told Sansa that. Sansa has no idea what that means. Littlefinger would 100% know what that means, because Book Littlefinger in Season 1, or the beginning of Book 1, when they're talking about, like, Daenerys and Viserys over, like, allying with the Dothraki, someone mentions we could always hire a faceless man to take them out, and Littlefinger comments, that would require twice as much gold as we're already indebted, you know, for.
yeah.
Like, that would be expensive.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Littlefinger knows 100% what a faceless man is.
Right.
And I have a feeling that if that tidbit came out, he might... I don't know what he would do. Like, if he would panic.
If he's smart, he would run.
If he was smart, he would get the fuck out of there, because she could literally be anybody.
He would have nowhere to go. I
Mhm.
don't think. At that point.
Anyway, this is... We're spending more time on this section than I thought we were going to. Like, this is actually...
Well, there's a lot of possibility there.
this is a
I
lot
think.
juicier than I initially, you know...
It was definitely.
Yeah, there's not a lot with the episode on it, but there's a lot of foreshadowing and questioning
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
That's another thing I forgot about. Thank you, Marco. Arya gave Sansa the dagger.
What dagger was that?
That was the Valyrian dagger. That was Littlefinger's dagger.
Yes.
She gave it to her. Like, you know, she was walking over to her, like, pointing it threateningly, and then she just flipped it over in her fingers and handed it to her. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like with this, it's a play. Who's got the dagger?
Because if she wanted to use that as just a threat to her,
Or
she
it's a
would've,
hint to
taken
her
it
that
back.
she's got to do the deed.
Oh.
Maybe.
Sansa's got to be the one to kill Littlefinger.
Or it's a hint to her to stay on guard.
True.
Stay on
Be
target.
on your toes, you know, don't somebody talk for you.
Anyway, moving on to the D&D party traipsing into the to the north. So much crazy
Yeah.
shit happened here. So, I mean, John tries to give back the Mormont family sword.
Poor thing.
I think, listen. They went over the wall and a lot of man feelings started happening.
Well, they're traveling to what could be their death, so...
Yeah.
It's very cold out there.
And, I mean, a lot of these characters know each other from, you know, forever.
Yeah.
Like, Jorah and Thoros fought side by side when, you know,
Yes.
the Greyjoys first rebelled and went
Yeah.
nuts. And, you know, they've all fought with each other throughout the past few wars. Anyway, like,
Yeah.
so they're catching up.
Yeah, I love the talk about their fathers, Jon and Jorah, just,
Mm-hmm.
like, they both, like, sort of were like, wow, our fathers were, like, really upstanding dudes. The fuck happened to us?
Yeah. And then, you know, the talk between, you know, Dondarrion and Jon about, like, you know, the whole, hey, we were both dead and we're not anymore.
Yeah, like, what does God want?
Like, what does Happy Fire God want, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what does he want with us? And
That,
then,
I think, is, like, a great thing to bring up with any religion. And it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to know, probably.
Mhm. Pretty much.
And that's okay to know, and it's probably better to know than to think you know what he wants.
And then, you know, the whole question for Thoros, how drunk were you when you went through the breach?
The drunkest.
It's like, I don't remember doing it.
Drunk as could be.
They told me the next morning I did it. I was like, hey, I believe you.
Take your word for it.
Take your word for it.
I didn't just drink alcohol, I drank all the alcohol.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Gendry getting to give the Red Boys a piece of his
It's
mind.
like, I wanted to join you people, and you sold me to a witch.
Yeah.
She wanted
They
to
were like,
kill
you're
me.
fine.
That's for him.
Yeah.
Here now.
It's like, she was going to kill me. She didn't, though, so stop whining.
That was great.
Quit your bitching.
And then probably the whole best conversation of the whole thing.
Oh, and then like at the end, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
After they told him to stop bitching, you're still alive. At the end of that, he called him lad, and it's like, I fucking hate when people do that, when they belittle you by calling you like something like that. I'm like, oh fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah.
You called me a boy. What?
Anyway, the best conversation of the whole episode happened. Tormund and the Hound.
Oh
Got a woman back home.
my
Does it?
god.
She doesn't know it.
It's like, I don't, you're with
We're gonna
Brienne.
have monstrous
I
babies.
just love that. You're with Brienne of fucking Tarth. Well, not with her.
She
Yet.
doesn't know it yet.
It was one of those things like the guy in a World War II
Oh,
movie
it's so cute. He loves
talking
her.
about his
Man,
sweetheart at home about to pull the Polaroid out.
Oh, exactly. Like, we're gonna make big monster babies. They're gonna take over the world.
But she just doesn't
It's like,
know any of this.
I've seen the way she looks at me. Yeah, she probably looks like it. You know, looks at you like she's gonna gut you and eat your liver. You
No,
have met her.
I pay attention to every one of their interactions. She looks at him confused.
Yeah,
Every time he
I
gives
know.
her like the wanna do eyes, she's like,
She has
I don't
no
know what.
idea.
What are you talking? No.
But like, it's like
every time.
I just love that. Like, she looks at you like she's gonna eat your liver. Like, you do know her. Like, you have met. Like that instant revelation on his face and joy. Like, we are talking about the same woman. Ooh.
Tormund is solidifying himself as like one of my favorite all-time characters in this show.
Yeah.
Because he was even talking to Gendry, like he's like, Gendry's like, I've never even seen snow before. Which, by the way, he can run half a mile in 47 minutes flat in the snow.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
apparently.
The hell?
But anyway, it was really funny. He's like, how do you stay warm? It's freezing up here.
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Tormund, yeah.
Moving,
Tormund had,
fighting, and
Yeah.
fucking.
And Tormund basically admitted it is canon. He will fuck anything.
pretty much.
Yep.
He's just horny.
He's
No,
bisexual.
at a certain
It's
point.
canon.
Keep you warm.
Ah, God. So then they run into something that has been mentioned probably 50 times in the book. Giant snow bears. Like,
I call them werebears.
Dire zombie bears.
I don't know if the word dire bear has been dropped at some point, but they're effectively dire bears.
Well, I mean, we have dire wolves in this world. I assume there are other dire creatures.
Hmm. So, I mean, there it is. There's a bear. There's a big fucker. And then I just love when it looks at them and Gendry's like, do bears have blue eyes? And I'm like, do bears have blue eyes that can illuminate through a blizzard? Like, that's the question
'cause
you
it
should
was-
be asking, goddammit.
It was storming really hard.
Who cares what
Should I
color...
be able to see its eyes from here?
Exactly. Who cares what color they are? Why are they projecting light?
Where are they glowing?
I mean, priorities
No
here,
reason.
Mr. Blacksmith. I mean, he is a blacksmith.
I was worried though that the army was coming with the bear.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Did the White Walkers just like res a bunch of dire bears for shits and giggles and just let them roam? Like, I'm just gonna res some stuff just for fun.
They never really go over how much control, like, does the Night King have full control over all the creatures he resurrects? Probably. But, like,
Does he care to exert it?
there's
Yeah.
that, too. I mean, sure,
And
if when the army runs across this bear, the bear would probably fall in rank.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just out there.
Honestly, it might be simple commands
Mhm.
like kill that dude or
Yeah.
march or charge. Like, it might not be. They might not be able to micromanage.
Yeah, and they're all, like, they've dropped, like, the others, or the White Walkers, the Army of the Dead has, they have massive giant bears, they have actual giants, they have humongous ice spiders that they ride as mounts, they have ice dragons, they have all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm expecting, like, oh god, this is the episode that someone's gonna get mauled by a 30-foot tall fucking spider.
Fuck spiders.
But you gotta think, some of them too, they probably just res them up as traps.
That too.
Yeah, that definitely could be.
Hey look, there's a corpse.
Yeah.
That thing
I mean,
was
their motivation is killing, so.
that thing was fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
for a split second, I thought there were two of them
Yes.
because
So
of how it disappeared into the wind
Mm,
and then just like appeared from
Yeah.
the side.
yeah.
I can't even.
and
That's
just like threw people with its mouth. I was just like, oh my god.
it starts
No.
mauling Thoros, and I'm just like, well, is somebody gonna stab the goddamn thing?
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah,
hound.
Sat there.
I know everybody's going in, and every time someone gets a shot off, the thing just bitch slaps them across. Bitch slappers. Wow. Bitch slaps them across the landscape.
Yeah.
Just like, no, goodbye, you're going flying. But,
5,000 feet.
No, it just takes somebody to stab him with dragon glass. and
I mean,
he
yeah,
just-
he's on fire, and, the hound is just standing there all like, what do I do? What do I do? It's fire. I don't like fire. And then just Jorah comes in with the little dagger, just like, you're dead.
Yeah. Not
Rip.
only was it dragon glass, it was a headshot. He
Mhm.
like Walking Deaded him in the face.
Well, he switched his class to rogue for a second. And
He specced into
Sneak
rogue
attack.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
he just swapped skill trees real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
This was an episode of Skyrim. Just, I mean,
Oh my god.
Basically, just was.
I now am seeing the icons over all the scenes.
Yeah, and whenever Tormund's on the thing, it says speech 100.
Yeah, it's between that and a D&D game, because quite frankly, at this point, John's been rolling crit 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business.
Well, we did find out that Command Undead is an actual fucking spell in this world, because you kill the White Walker and all of his undead go away.
Which
It's just like D&D, boys.
that's a pretty major.
We didn't learn that for sure, did we?
This is the
We
first
absolutely
time
did.
we learned that for sure. This
Yes.
episode, yes, we've never known that before. Because
Okay.
when John killed the White Walker, most of the whites that were in that little scouting party just exploded.
Collapsed.
They
Oh.
collapsed. They fell apart.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking when they were fighting on the island. I'm thinking of the wrong scene. Never mind.
So it's apparently, you know,
You're
what-
strong.
whoever turned them is what's keeping them there. So that's
Yeah.
where the whole idea.
Control.
Kill the Night
I like
King.
how he said the Night King. Yeah, he made all of them.
Well, he's got a point. The Night King, we don't know like if it's gonna spiral out and take out the other White Walkers, but yeah, the Night King was the original first one.
Yeah,
Well, the
if
Night
he
King-
made the other ones.
4 guys. And then those 4 guys are able to kind of res other guys up.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Night King, essentially, if the Night King dies and the other 4 die, then everybody freaking dies.
Well, there's more than 4 because
There's more than
There
four
are.
now.
Well, we saw the 4, I mean the 4 that were up around.
yeah, that like his
The 4 main ones.
They were the
right,
stuff.
exactly. So the 4 main
High
ones up
Council.
there with him, his High Council, whatever. But they've been around. They've been asleep, air quotes, for 8,000 years. You know, that nutjob Craster was sacrificing all of his sons to them.
Yeah.
So they've been
Which-
bolstering their ranks. There's a number.
Okay, speaking of which, I remember the scene. I don't remember it fully. How did they turn that baby into a White Walker? Like, what did they do
The
to
Night
make
King,
that baby?
he held the baby and he just like kind of went like, poke.
The Night King did.
Yes,
Okay, then there
That
we
was-
have it.
that was the first time we saw the Night King on screen too. And
Yeah.
he held the baby and it was just like a little, bink, poke your forehead, and the baby's eyes just went and started like glowing blue.
But no, there you have it. If the Night King makes the other White Walkers, then you kill the Night King, everything dies.
So then why did we not point the dragon's breath in the general
Danny didn't
direction?
know.
Like,
Because
Danny didn't know.
Danny had no fucking clue.
Yeah,
You know, she just
didn't even
sees
think they existed, I don't think.
she sees her current man crush and his party of nutjobs surrounded by 10,000 zombies, which, by the way, now confirmed, there are dead people. Like, John wasn't just bullshitting. Like, there's a legit army of the dead.
Yes.
It's real.
Which we forgot. I don't know if we got to this or we weren't going to mention or we might have forgotten. Her little conversation on why does everybody seem to have penis envy and all the heroes try to do something stupid. There was that conversation.
Yes.
She had that with
we just
Tyrion.
one up the stupids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to one up. It was like a fucking dick contest. My dick's bigger than yours. I'm going to do something really stupid.
I mean, hey, she showed up. The
Jamie
three,
grabs the lance. Hold my beer.
yeah. I mean, the 3 dragons pretty much melt out how many, a good 1,000+ whites, you know, start thinning the ranks.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and then comes the painful part. You know, just, it's like the one guy the one White Walker grabs,
Can I say something?
yeah.
Can I say something? She left Dragonstone. She's on Drogon. Drogon flies away. I'm like, okay, are the other 2 gonna follow her? The other 2 follow. I'm like, oh, one dragon's gonna die tonight.
Yeah.
They're all going? One's dead.
I called it like
He was like,
fucking
this
early in the
They've-
season.
Oh,
They've
I
been
said-
dropping hints all season, and it's been rumored since episode 1 that a dragon was dying.
Yeah.
But did they state that it would turn into a
No.
And I knew it was going to be a
We
baby.
kind of figured.
I was like, it's going to be the baby.
dragon?
If it was the freaking big one, that's it.
You know, I know we've mentioned it that we could have an ice dragon.
Well, now we do.
Now we do. Sorry, you can go on with
Well-
the spear.
No, I'm-
Well, we jumped a little
I
bit
mean,
ahead.
Marco in chat says fire doesn't affect the Night King. He just walks past it. Well,
He did.
he's emanating. We've seen all the White Walkers do that before. The one in Hardhome when
They
John's
emanate
in like the
cold.
burning
Yes.
hut, the one just walks forward and all the fire goes out. Well,
Oh my god, you're right.
you emanate enough cold you'll put out a goddamn fire. Oh, I'm talking
But
like...
they weren't getting hit by a jet of flame from a
Right,
dragon.
exactly.
That's
I
different.
imagine...
They were walking over a
Yeah.
existing
A
fire.
smoldering flame, yeah.
I imagine a jet of dragon fire would do some damage.
Yeah, you're right though. Probably wouldn't kill the Night King, but
Oh, I imagine it would. But, you know,
I don't know. It might
Nah, he
not.
died.
like,
Unless he's
he's
got
not-
a Kamehameha to fire back at it. It's not happening. He's
or he
fucking
can
dead.
create some
I don't
kind of
think he's got
shield
it
or
in him.
something, because, I
Fucking
mean,
calling you out, Night King.
it
Put
turned
you on blast.
it turned people into ash instantaneously.
streets.
That's a lot of heat required to do that.
Yeah, but we're also dealing with the White Walkers who are clearly magical.
Right. It's all clearly magical. It's a fantasy setting, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, for what Drogon did to a group of soldiers, cremating a human body to that state takes a couple of hours in a crematorium. He did it in 4 fucking seconds. So,
Well,
we're
he
talking
didn't. All right. He didn't. If he had kept his flame on a person, yes, he could do that.
I mean,
but just
just
No,
a quick he did that in a quick pass. He flew
Did
in
that
from
in
the
a quick
lake and it was just a
pass.
and then you know his wing flap
Pile of
just
ash.
caused them all to poof into
oh,
dust.
that's right. That's
This
right.
was 2
Yeah.
episodes ago. So
It's hot.
that's a lot of heat. I mean, yeah, the Night King can
I was thinking about the guys that were running around on fire screaming.
yeah,
We're doing okay.
they're doing okay.
I'm
By
sure they're
comparison.
fine. Don't worry
They're
about
fine.
them.
So yeah, up comes the javelin, flings it through the air, and I'm just like
Listen.
as it's flying, you know it's gonna
This
hit.
whole can I tell you how that scene went down for me?
Go ahead, please do.
John's about to get on Drogon. I'm like, John, get on the dragon. He turns around, fights more whites. I'm like, John, get on the damn dragon.
Yeah.
He had to fight them off.
No, I know. Listen,
But you
I do know. But he got so far away from the dragon. I'm like, John, get on the fucking dragon.
You knew it was coming, and you were like, "Come
The whole time I
on,
was just like, get on the fucking dragon.
you wait for."
Now I know that Dany and Drogon kind of have plot armor as thick as John's right now, but I mean, look at this from the Night King's point of view. My subordinate just handed me a really pointy ice javelin. That thing was sharpened to a hell of a point. Hands me the ice javelin. I'm walking up to the ridge. There are 3 dragons. 2 are flying. 1 has landed 100 yards in front of me. Stationary target. So now you, holding a javelin, being a skilled javelin thrower, what are you going to choose? A stationary target 100 yards away, or one of varying distance, way up in the air, flying at about 50 miles an hour, bobbing and weaving?
Right.
Well, if I wanted
Wait,
to look
clarifying
really
question.
cool,
Go ahead.
Am I holding a beer?
No, you gave it to your subordinate when he passed you the javelin. You said, hold my
The
beer,
beer's
bro.
not on
Flying
me.
100% of the time.
Hold my beer. And then he won the
I think he was doing it also in a cocky manner, though. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for the
He's
hardest.
styling on him a little bit.
No,
Like-
I think he's trying
Also,
to pretend
If
that.
you tried for Drogon, there's also a bunch of people there. And I think the people count as a variable.
But also, Drogon is the strongest, so he could have just turned around, shot his flame.
Yeah.
There goes your ice javelin.
True.
Melted.
Well,
Also,
Hashtag meltsies.
Also, Viserion was he was flying towards, like he was coming around and flying towards the Night King. So that is an uneasier target if it's.
Yeah. hit.
he's
I
a
mean,
nice
Well, anyway, hit.
and hit whatever.
Just his whole side blows out, and then just, oh god, that was bloody.
That was, dude, so brutal.
They didn't have to. It was like.
But we
spraying
gotta
all
go
over. It
back
was
a little
going.
bit because we jumped the gun. How they got into the middle of the island out of nowhere.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. They run into across the lake. It's like, don't step on the ice. 10,000 zombies on the ice.
Go.
Oh, yes, now.
Now I had a feeling. Did anybody watch the movie King Arthur that was done in like
With Keira
04 or
Knightley.
07?
Oh my god, yes!
It was the same
same
fucking
scene.
thing.
Kind of.
Yes.
I
It
like,
was,
I
except
felt that as
with a
soon as it
circle
went up,
instead
I'm
of a
like,
straight
alright,
line.
I'm like, we
Yeah.
gotta
And
run.
then the ice was breaking. Like,
I mean, you're right. We also didn't talk about the fact that the Hound really started the whole thing in motion by throwing the
What?
rock at the one.
They would have been safe. Danny would have
Excellent.
come, picked them up, end of story. He throws the fucking rock because he's
Clunk.
bored.
And then the second rock,
Idiot.
he undershoots it, and it just slides across the ice, and they all just look at the rock like, and you can see it's just like calculating, buffering, ding. And then
Hey.
And about 5 of us at a time will walk across a little
These
bit.
zombies aren't.
Nope,
like
we're still good.
walking
All right,
zombies.
great. Fuck it, all of us go at once.
They're smarter.
All right.
While they're sitting around their little fire pit of their buddy that's dead.
I have a question about that.
go ahead.
That dude got rezzed a million times. Why couldn't they do it again?
No,
That's not the guy who got
That's
he
not
was
the
the
guy.
Rezer.
he was the Rezer. That was Thoros, the priest who did the rezzing.
Yeah, you
Okay.
lost your
That's
cleric.
why I was
Variant got
confused.
rezzed.
All right. That's
you
why
lost-
I was confused.
Eye Patch Man was the one who's got rezzed because he missing the eye from one of his deaths.
Yes, that's what I thought. But then when he got bit on the chest,
Mhm.
Yeah.
They soldered him, but
the
then
sword
he
to him,
broke-
and I was like, oh wait, is he the cleric? I'm confused now.
They
Now
can both ignite their swords.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, you lost your healer, so at this point you were
Yeah.
boned.
Pretty much.
Well, and it leads a little bit of credence to the fact that the skeleton warriors are. I did it in my head, but they're not completely without thought, because like even the one they captured seemed like it was trying to scream for help.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Well, he was
certainly.
looking for an exit. He was like going around in a circle, like, all right, where can I escape? Where can I escape?
Well-
Fuck,
So
surrounded.
they're not completely mindless.
Yeah,
Right.
and even before they put a hood over his head, he did the screech like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was calling for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like Walking Dead. They have a little more.
Right, that's what I'm
They have a
saying.
little more.
Mental capacity?
Yes.
They're
They can
not-
swing a weapon, so that requires some kind of effort and thought.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but like, if we're going to, if we've been comparing this to D&D all night, if we're going talking D&D, aren't whites a little bit higher up the food chain than a res
Yeah.
skeleton
Yeah.
zombie?
they are. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like,
There's
got-
like skeletons,
you got-
fleshy skeletons, white.
yeah, skeleton, fleshy skeleton, zombie, white. Like, you're up there a bit. This is
And
like,
then Mummy for some reason is white.
yeah, for whatever reason, mummies are just below lich,
Mummies are
because
CR11.
whatever reason. Anyway. Yeah, that always got me. Made no sense. Like, a mummy's gonna be more effective than a fucking, skeleton or a white. Like, come on.
Yeah, really.
Anyway,
I mean, it's the picture of the skeleton like this, while the guy's jabbing a javelin through its ribcage and missing everything. It's like, okay, first of all, you're being our dick right now. But anyway, getting on. So yeah, dragon goes down. Lots of blood, hits the ice,
Whatever.
dies, sinks below the lake, and I was just like,
it hurt
Bullshit.
my heart.
oh,
Blood everywhere.
Danny gonna flip a shit.
So sad. Or you could see the.
Yeah.
so yeah, she fucks off on out of there after John has to scream at her like 4 times, like, go, leave, like he's got another javelin. Like, notice he's
Yeah.
holding the
Don't
damn
wanna lose
thing.
another one.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like he just one-shot your dragon. Get out of here. Like, he can do it again.
Leave me! I already died once.
He's winding up. And, it took him going below the lake, which, another miraculous recovery for a character from a lake. But, anyway, she gets out of there, the party's saved. Yeah, I know, right? He comes out, his sword is just conveniently right there.
Yeah.
And, like, then Uncle Benjamin to the rescue.
Oh, that was so cool.
While he's almost dying of pneumonia, walking like he is a zombie.
Okay. I feel like I need to say this, and let's say it took Gendry 6 or 8 hours to run to.
We discussed this in pre-show. Someone on Reddit
Oh,
did
right,
the
I'm sorry.
math, because one of the biggest complaints about this episode is like everybody teleporting around. They
Yes.
mathed it out based on estimations, how long a person could realistically survive if they were well clothed, and all that stuff in that situation. Considering Thoros froze to death, and how long it would take a lake like that to freeze, to walk on, and all this. They did the math, and it is conceivable that this all happened, that they were on that ice waiting for up to 3 days. And
It was at least a day,
right, it was at least a day.
if not more.
Now, they also did some more math, like based on the flight speed of a Raven and an estimated flight speed of the Dragons, that, you know, the message could have gotten back and Danny could have gotten there on time. It all could have fit feasibly. It's still, you know, it's a stretch, but it's a fantasy thing. You know,
Yeah.
who really gives a
I
shit
mean,
at
yeah.
this point?
What about Gendry, you know, winning the gold in the, you know,
Oh, he collapsed as soon as he got to the wall. He pulled the
5,000 meter dash?
he pulled the marathon. Like, you know,
Like the original marathon.
The
How
bitter.
did he know he was so fast?
well,
I don't
they had a
know.
whole boat ride.
We'll see me sprint. And just,
Well, he is the smallest one.
He's,
He is the thinnest one.
He is the youngest.
Youngest.
yeah, I guess.
Pretty sure that those three alone make him run fast.
Yes,
And
though.
he's strong enough too, because he's carrying a fucking
But
warhammer.
with the wind
Yeah.
like that though, and like
I was upset because he's like,
on.
leave the hammer, you're faster without, and then the Hound is using the hammer. I'm like, bitch, whose hammer is that? It ain't yours.
Yeah, but it's
Run it.
effective.
And then he threw it away! He fucking threw it away!
Yeah.
Just a
I'm
hammer.
mad.
He hit one guy and it was like, well, this doesn't work too well. Boom! I'm like, ah! That's his
Oh.
hammer.
Yeah,
And then-
I'm mad.
Benjen comes in, clearly undead. I mean, Marco in chat says he's tired of being half human, half White Walker. You know what? You notice the way his face was, he did kind of look like he was, you know, halvesies.
Getting worse.
But anyway,
Yes.
Using his fucking incense fire thing.
it's like, get on the horse, ride for the
Coolest
pass. Yeah, I know, right?
So cool. I was just like, oh.
Get on the horse, ride for the pass. Come with me. There's no time. Whack. Goodbye.
Yep. And John, who is soaking wet in the middle of an icy tundra, let's say the ride was an hour.
Sure.
He would have
That,
frozen to death.
especially the blizzard.
It is John versus hypothermia.
Hey, between you and me, can I let you on a little secret?
Yeah.
He's a fucking Targaryen.
Well, yeah, but
A fire.
He already died once. He's died.
blood on his
Where did I write it?
the empty
Yeah,
game is John versus hypothermia.
I wrote this down. John uses his +5 what the fuck plot armor and survives.
It's gotta be because he's a
Baby.
Targaryen.
Keeps rolling 20s. I mean, that's
I mean,
all.
Yeah,
Fucker
he's wet.
can't lose. I want him on my D&D.
Yeah,
team.
he's wet.
Right?
Yeah, he's completely soaking wet. But he was taken out of the water. He's exposed to the air. He's still well insulated, technically. I mean, it's not going to be like... It's not like he's soaking wet naked in the tundra and going to die in a few minutes.
No, it's like
No, if your clothes are soaked through, that's
Hey,
you're a human icicle. That's not
I-
naked or
Aren't-
not. That
So armor itself is metal.
And it's gonna
metal
slow
will
He's
you
not,
down.
he's not wearing
he's
any
not
metal.
wearing metal.
He's
Uh-uh.
wearing...
He's wearing leather.
He always wears leather.
But it's gonna slow him up, the wind and the
Right, all that. I mean, he's on the horse. If he hunkers down, like... Again, I'm not an expert in this, but I can... If it takes an hour, I could theoretically see him being, like, on the brink of death.
That shit took longer than that.
Yeah, I know. But again, he has thick plot armor. But then again, he's warmed up and he's laying there in that bed completely out of it. Not from any injury he took, just from going swimming. So, I like... You'd be fucked up for a while after that, I guess. I really don't know. I've never fallen in a frozen lake and then rode for an hour on horseback.
Maybe we could try this year. Figure it out.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing
I'm
that.
doing that.
I'm good.
But
Totally good.
I don't know. He might have found a random tauntaun to crawl into for about 20 minutes to warm up.
No.
Well, and I mean, you see when they get him, back at, they don't even bother with the keep in Eastwatch. They take him straight onto the Targaryen ship, but they have to break and pry his clothes off because they're frozen stiff.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not convinced he would have lived like that.
Right.
And yes, he's a Targaryen.
I mean,
That's probably why.
yeah, that's probably why. But there is
That's
like,
the only way why, because quite frankly, I think they proved on like the Titanic thing that you would have died of hypothermia in
Yeah,
an
but
hour
again,
in
this
the.
is a show. With
this is a show, but you got a couple of things we got to go over. Like,
fantasy.
he's wearing padding under the armor. He's wearing armor. Yes, I understand it's soaked through, and it would have frozen solid on the ride. One thing about ice is it's a fantastic insulator. So if it froze over, it would have kept his body heat in. Yeah, this is not a
But
state
in
you want to
itself
be
is
in.
cold.
Yes, I know. It in itself is cold, but
Yes, honey, but why do you think igloos work?
igloos work because ice is an amazing insulator. But like,
Yeah.
we're getting into semantics here. He
What
could
about a
have
face?
he could have conceivably survived. It's a fantasy show. He's a Targaryen. We're just going to leave it at that.
Magic. I mean,
What I'm saying,
it's-
like it's a show. It goes
I mean,
really
I
we
know.
just saw a dragon die and get resurrected. I mean,
Yeah.
Christ.
now, and it's gonna breathe ice.
That is just like, yeah, we're gonna have 2,000 whites just drag the corpse, dredge the
all the
lake.
chains they got. They
Oh, yeah.
stopped at Lowe's.
pull it
got
on
the
out.
Yu-Gi-Oh card, the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh God,
Yeah.
it's totally what it's gonna be.
It's Blue Eyes
But that
White.
moment, Daniela in chat's mentioning it, but that moment when John wakes up and Danny's just sitting there, and she sees all the scars too. Like,
Yeah.
oh damn.
Oh damn, he didn't fuck around.
Oh, really? There was a dagger to the heart. Shit.
It's like, oh shit.
And more importantly, at first when she's talking to Tyrion, she's like, I don't like him. He's too small. No offense. Then she sees him without his shirt off. She's like, well.
That wasn't the small she meant.
Yeah. That's not the small she
Because
meant.
he went swimming, though. Come on, it shrivels.
Oh, his shirt, you
cold out
dingus.
there.
She saw the sexy abs.
The sexy abs and the scars. And
That's
like,
not what I
Sexy
was.
scars
I
and
wasn't
sexy
talking about his
abs.
dick.
babes love
really.
scars.
Besides, Tormund wasn't impressed, so that means no one's gonna be.
Right, exactly. Anyway, they share a moment. He calls her Danny, which hits her like, God, I don't even know who the last person to call me Danny was. It may have been my brother. Not exactly someone you want to emulate here. Like, I forgot the wording she used. It was like not the company you'd want to keep, or something like that. It's like, okay, fine, not Danny. How about my queen? Like, breaking into tears.
And this
I could then be
after her
like-
conversation of going, my dragons are my babies, you know I can't have children. And him going, I'm sorry for what happened. No, because I wouldn't have believed you till now that there wasn't something on that other end of the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had to see it.
Fucking we're gonna fuck them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I just hope everybody else believes them this Sunday when they
Not happening.
walk away.
This Sunday, here's what I predicted I actually talked with my sister-in-law right after the episode, and I have to quote here. I'm going to pull it up, but keep going. I know I'm breaking the immersion.
You had them kind of getting that close little look that they were gonna make out, and then all of a sudden,
It's
get
still
some rest.
like a
So here's the base prediction, that the whole war with the Night King and everything, we're going to get bare minimum next episode about that, and that's going to be all Season 8.
Yep. I guess
Probably.
The most we're going to get, I think, is them figuring out how to get past the wall. Either their newly raised dragon is going to melt it, or he's going to have figured out something. It would be a cool, like, season-ending effect to just see the whole wall just shatter. Or something ridiculous.
Oh,
Like an
fuck,
Iceman thing. He goes and he just spits a whole wall of ice that they can walk up. Like a ramp.
a flame.
That-
like,
I mean, there is the whole thing they don't cover in the show, the Horn of Winter. Like, to find the horn, they blow the horn, the wall breaks. So
Yeah.
that would be a pretty awesome effect. But
But I feel like they would have teased that more.
Yeah,
Could've.
at the very least, a maester at one point brings it up, but
oh,
since
no,
we've never heard of
I
it
know
in
how
the
they'll
show-
bring it up. Halfway through the episode, we'll get Sam reading one of those books, like, says here the wall can be destroyed by this thing called the Horn of Winter. And that's how that's how you know
Nah,
they're
I
stretching.
think Yeah,
it's important.
Anyway.
You'll read it.
Here's the prediction.
right.
Next
Then
week,
again, well, what happens when the walkers cross the wall? Do they weaken? Do they we don't really?
Well, they can't. just
all we
because
know is they
it's
can't.
Magic.
Even
What do you
they
want?
they cannot physically climb it and cross it.
Okay.
No. But probably nothing's going to happen to them physically. I
Right.
mean, it's slightly warmer than it is.
hmm
Yeah.
So anyway,
And I mean,
Winterfell,
it's
but-
magic ice, so
there is that. Here's the prediction that I discussed right after the episode. Next week looks like it's going to be all people arguing in a circle and Cersei being a smug twat.
yeah, that sounds like not a great season finale. I hate to break it, but
I mean, they show the little teasers. They show the whole Greyjoy fleet surrounding King's Landing. They show the Unsullied army backed up by the Dothraki, like, blockading them from land. They show Dany starting to blockade them from sea. And then it shows what I'm assuming is the ruined dragon pits, which
That is what it is.
Yeah, in King's Landing. And it shows them setting up for a meeting. And everybody's sitting down, and then Jon's just there like, there's only one war. And, like, it's here. It's come. Like, you know.
when they
Snippy
showed
snappy.
like all the shots of where they're meeting, that doesn't look like they're setting up for a meeting. That looks like they're setting up for trial by combat.
That
Clegane Bowl!
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I'm nice.
Listen, I'm telling you, the Hound is going to take the White, because who else is going to handle that prick?
Mhm.
And she's like, alright, fight my guy. And then the Hound's like, fucking gladly.
hmm
And then
He
he'll
kicks-
kill the mountain, or they'll kill each other, or
Maybe
something.
Cersei
Oh, you know
will
what?
die.
Jesus, Marco just brought up a good point in chat. It just hit, and I read it, and I was like, does this mean the Night King can now pass the wall because of the mark on Bran?
Oh, that's right.
Because when Bran
Yeah.
was, you know, they were protected, like,
they, are,
they couldn't get
like,
in to where the Three-Eyed Raven was until the Night King touched Bran in that vision, and it dispelled
You
all
think
their
that because
protection.
of the crows?
The crows, or maybe he's still
No.
marked.
He's still marked.
Like, is that enough to let the Night
Go
King
away.
cross?
Yeah, that was something I think I was mentioning
Well, that's
like
what I-
5th season. Like as soon as Bran got touched, I was like, oh, that's it. They
Yo.
can cross no problem
That's
now.
what that brought what brought.
So crazy long shot.
Go.
You think this is going to be like fucking the Lich King rules, where there always has to be a Night King?
Oh, and Bran's gonna be the next Night King?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I don't know. There was a meme showing him turning into one.
Yeah, there was a fan theory going around.
That's a meme, though.
Me,
There's a theory going
Bran
around. on
also-
Memes are funny, but you can't take them that
but
seriously.
Bran is also aware of all times of himself simultaneously.
I mean, the
Right,
leading
But if
theory
that's
is
the
that,
case, why would he cross the wall knowing?
like, he is the Three-Eyed Raven now. The leading theory is that the Three-Eyed Raven who taught Bran was future Bran. Like,
Yeah,
ancient and old
like
and
time
decrepit.
travel bullshit.
Yeah, like, that's one of the leading theories, that something, somehow, that's gonna happen. That it's a closed loop.
Yeah.
Just like Hodor.
Yeah. And, you know, if that...
I don't doubt it.
And, like, if that's, like, the case, if Bran has seen the future, it's one of those, you see the future, you can't do shit about it. You
I
tell
can
her,
see the future.
you know, you telling people about it is also part of that future, so no matter what you tell them, it's going to happen. They can't change it. So, I don't know, Daniela says, oh my god, Clegane Bowl must happen. Yes, I think
Yes,
we all agree.
Clegane Bowl. I forgot. I called it something in the beginning of the season, and I forgot what it was.
I don't think it was Clegane Bowl, but
No, but that's a very good one.
that's a good
I'm
one.
gonna steal that, Daniela.
That does need to happen. But yeah, I forgot about that. They did successfully capture the White. That is, you know,
Impressive.
that is evidence right
Pretty
there.
irrefutable.
If, assuming
That
the body's,
zombies are real.
assuming it stays alive and it doesn't just fall apart when they get down to the, you know, more southern climate, even though winter is setting in.
Yeah.
It does
well,
have nothing to
that's
fuck about.
Like, they release a corpse that is walking around and trying to eat people.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, that's, and you'll be able to prove, okay, here's a zombie. But then I bet Cersei's gonna be like, how do I know there's a whole army of them?
And then someone takes out a fucking 9mm and shoots her in her smug little face.
I hope she dies this last season, or this last episode.
I
really
don't
do.
think so.
I hate
She's
that so
going.
fucking smug.
It's too short.
She's
So
going
anyway,
into.
Cersei's death needs
I mean,
a lot more
and
ramp
she's
up.
gonna do her double cross bullshit.
That has to
She's
happen.
gonna try to, and then she's gonna get fucking shanked for it. I hope.
She's going to seriously jeopardize the effort to defeat the Night King somehow.
Absolutely.
Um,
So she
And
needs to last through the next season.
Well, I feel like she's gonna try to do something stupid, and maybe even Jamie's gonna stop her
Mhm.
because he's gonna be like, "Look, there's an army at the gate.
it's
If they come in, we're dead."
it's
you
been a
understand that, right?
leading theory that Jamie's gonna kill Cersei for years now.
You might just say
Especially with the whole prophecy Cersei had of, you're gonna die by the hand of your younger brother. What she thought Tyrion, hey, Jamie's 2 minutes
Yeah.
younger. He is
Right.
your younger brother also. So there's that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like to think that the witch worded it purposefully like that so she'd not think it was Jamie.
mhm.
But I mean, I don't think. Like I said, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, typically in these shows, we haven't gotten gigantic curveballs in the last episode a lot of the time.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's
you're
probably
right.
gonna be. It's probably gonna be, the wall breaking or something like that.
A
You know,
lot
I mean-
of
that's gonna be like the end.
like those are the two big events people are predicting right now. The wall is going to come down, or
Right.
the Night King is going to somehow get past it, probably it coming down, and Littlefinger is going to be in his grave.
Yeah, I don't see Cersei dying.
I can't see Cersei dying.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I could see somehow. What's the woman from Dorne? I forget her name now.
Oh,
Lyanna?
Ilaria?
Yeah, Ilaria. Like I could see her becoming relevant somehow.
Mm,
Well,
Chained
we
to
aren't
a
going
wall.
to King's Landing, but I mean, I don't see why she would.
Well, here's the only thing I got. Dorne holds the records of, marriage and stuff like that,
right.
which means they could have the record of Rhaegar and Lyanna's.
Well, that's Old Town
Marriage.
has it. Technically, Old Town isn't. Old Town's technically in Tyrell lands, I think, if I'm not
Either way.
mistaken. But yeah, either way, they have all that bullshit there.
So,
But
I don't know,
Marco,
that was just a thought, but
Marco's
What
pretty
if
much hit it
Greyjoy
in chat.
Friends,
What's up, Pat?
Greyjoy friends.
That too.
They gotta come. They gotta come somewhere into fruition.
I mean,
mean-
they're like in the preview, they're sitting there holding the harbor, basically. But Marco just nailed it right on the head. Cersei's gonna pretend to agree with Jon, or just pretend to agree with everybody, and
Right.
try to have a red wedding type of plot, like
Yeah,
some lulled
that's
into
your-
false.
it's not gonna work.
Of course, it's not gonna work. She already pulled that. They already pulled that shit.
They did already pull that shit, and they pulled that shit when they had more allies than they have now.
That too.
There's no way they're gonna pull that again.
The Yeah, I don't know. So we got a lot. We got a lot that has been building up. Next week is the season finale. I thought this was an 8-episode season. I've been telling that to everybody,
Me too.
and apparently they snuck it down to 7.
Apparently it's 7.
I missed the
Okay.
memo. I knew next season was supposed to be 7, but I apparently missed the memo. It's
Hour and
also
a half.
going to be. It's going to be the longest episode of Game of Thrones to date, clocking in at 79 minutes and 40-something seconds.
So basically an hour and 20.
Yeah.
This episode was an hour 10.
hmm
Yep. Didn't seem like it though.
No,
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 it
it was
didn't.
great.
God, just too much happening there.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. And the whole time I was just like vibrating in my seat, just like, oh God, don't die.
Yeah. Ah.
Tormund lived. I'm happy.
Yeah. And then Marco does bring up they were mentioning the Golden Company. They were leading towards the whole there are mercenaries they could hire. Oh boy.
Much to see. I can't wait how it unravels.
Not to spoil the books, but the Golden Company's already in play by now. would have been in play by the end of season 6 if like they kept things lined up.
Mercenary girl.
Yeah.
10,000 mercenaries. They're called the Golden Company for what I forget their reasoning, but they accept payment in gold, and they will always fulfill the contract, regardless of who offers them what. Like they basically take a contract, they agree upon the payment, they execute the contract. Period.
So it's not like, I'll pay you double if you don't kill me.
Right.
Because they have the contract, they have to kill you.
They have a reputation as, being good like that.
Yeah.
The Iron Bank?
That they pride themselves on that or something.
The Iron Bank?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of shit has to... Like, the whole Sansa Arya Littlefinger shit.
Something won't. We'll
I'm
definitely.
really hoping it's not just this stupidity.
And John won't watch anymore.
John and I can only imagine what's going to be going down at King's Landing. Stuff.
Well, tune
Nothing
in
things.
next week. You will find out.
Yeah.
Assuming this episode doesn't fucking leak.
Oh, God damn.
Oh, I know. Like this past.
Like,
this
yeah.
on like Wednesday. So maybe tomorrow we'll get to see it.
Yeah,
I've
God,
never
yeah.
been so happy that I'm not on Facebook.
Okay, thank
I
you.
had this episode spoiled for me, so yeah. it
Thank you,
was-
Daniela. You found something I couldn't find. The finale is called The Dragon and the Wolf.
And the wolf. Nice.
That goes back to I think a
Yeah,
season...
Beauty and the Beast vibe. I
Yeah.
like it.
It goes back to a season 1 episode that was called The Lion and the Wolf.
Oh.
It was the episode, I believe, when Jamie and Ned got into it outside of...
Yeah,
brothel.
I remember that.
I remember that because I watched it yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, that's our show. We could talk about this for hours, theorize, but we're just going to have to wait. Today's Tuesday, 5 more days.
Only
Only 5 more days.
Days.
Where can they
another
find you?
year.
Chrissy.
Kuyamoto.
It was a trick question.
Was it?
I don't know,
Shit,
maybe.
I got tricked.
John, where can they find you?
You can find me at No More on Twitter.
Pat and Michelle, where can they find both of you?
Michelle.
In time and
Space. Space.
There was a
Now they
second
can
you weren't going to do
see
it there.
from the camera.
You can find me on Twitter there, at Thiladrin. You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us at those places for some more podcasts, for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. And I think John just said it, so much talking. I think I said, we got to wait 5 more days, and then I think John said, and another year. Then another year. Well, there was a rumor I read today that it might be delayed until 2019, Season 8.
No. What?
There's no truth to it.
It's confirmed with Daenerys, the spinoff of the Targaryens, and how they can.
Yeah, but that won't come till afterwards.
And maybe. Unless
Oh,
that's
and they
why
are planning, other series, prequels, spin-offs, that kind of stuff. But thank you all for watching. Catch you next week.
Sorry for my outburst.
That's okay.
Hashtag Where's Ghost?
And it also, I looked up hypothermia. It is possible if the ride was an hour long that John would just fall unconscious and not actually die. So you're right. You guys are right. I'm wrong. He probably legitimately survived.
Really? No.
Yep.
Ooh.
I would have thought. But if the ride was over an hour, then.
Yeah, who knows? You probably don't last long after falling unconscious, but
Nope.
Yeah, no.
You definitely don't.
All of your.
he was certainly unconscious when he rode up, so.